Salutations and welcome back to Don't Misquote Me, the podcast where we discuss different topics that impact Black women and children in our community at large. Today, I really want to talk about performative femininity and how it has the Black community in a chokehold. Now, femininity obviously is being discussed in a wide range of different communities during this time. Why? Because red pill and pink pill mentality is spilling out into the more how can I say this? The more normal, should I say normal? Yes, I'm going to say normal, like normal society. Before this was not something that was discussed largely on an everyday level. So the everyday person wasn't focused on femininity and masculinity in the ways that they are now. But due to social media, we have this generation that is exposed to so many different topics, from topics that are more popular on the BDSM realm where they talk about different things or they have different fashions, or the red pill community or the pink pill community, or the hypergamous community. Like, there were so many different sectors that already have this knowledge, already discuss these things, but now it's more of an everyday conversation. So you have the, like, the 50-50 thing taken over. You have the women are so masculine thing taken over. And I really want to get into this because when we speak about femininity, femininity is not a look. And I'm starting to notice that when most people speak on femininity, it has to do with looks, and it has to do with how that femininity interacts with a man or attracts a man. And it really takes away from the power of femininity itself, because femininity has way more to do with how you look, way more than it has way more to it than just how you look, and it definitely has way more value than that, which is limited to attracting a man. And a lot of people don't realize that what they're even discussing and calling feminine is more masculine. So you have people who will say, on a surface level, you wear this, you wear pink cute clothes, or you wear this certain type of top, and you go out to high end restaurants during the week, and you'll meet a high value man, and all those type of generic conversations we have going on. So, and excuse the background noise that you may hear. I really want to speak a little bit more to it. It's going to take me more than just this episode to speak on this, because right now I'm just kind of getting back into the flow of recording on a consistent basis. But I really think that if you are a young woman, especially, but women in general, and men as well who care, it's important to have the conversation of what femininity really is, because femininity reigns from the inside. It is the innate, it is the unseen, it is the negative charge to the positive charge. The masculine charge is the positive charge, and the feminine charge is the negative charge. And not negative as in mean or demeaning, or uh, what other word can we associate with negative? Toxic and things of that nature. But the portion of creation that takes, and the feminine energy takes so that it can expand. It doesn't just take so that it can take away and deplete, but it takes so that it can expand. Okay, so femininity doesn't really have anything to do with what you're wearing and what you look like. Lipstick is not necessarily feminine. um Pretty clothes isn't necessarily feminine. What else do they say? Speaking in a soft voice isn't necessarily feminine. We can say it's how the feminine can manifest, but femininity is so chaotic. It's such a chaotic energy, okay? Because the masculine energy is more structured. The masculine energy is more set into different place. The feminine energy is very chaotic, and this is why you'll hear people mistakenly say that women are more emotional. Women are not necessarily more emotional. Women are more emotionally expressive and more emotionally chaotic. And not chaotic in the sense of uh because men are more emotional, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. They are more emotional. We are right now, we're not seeing masculine energy and feminine energy in its natural state anymore. We're seeing more masculine and feminine energy in a dysfunctional state. And so a lot of things are backwards, a lot of things are getting mixed up, and a lot of signals are being mixed. And excuse me, I'm definitely going to say I'm a lot. I have to do so much more practicing with speaking and getting out there again. However, I really wanted to speak on this because when you are a young woman, it can cause so much confusion because so much of femininity now, you have these fraudulent femininity coaches, and I hate to say it like that, but it really is what it is, and they base their whole femininity thing over how you can attract provision from a man. Feminine energy is so powerful that before you even may meet a man, before you even get married, you will be naturally provided for and protected. And I know that sounds far fetched, but I like to tell people all of the things that I've been able to acquire and do, I did not do that on my own. I did that by resting in my feminine energy. And so feminine energy doesn't have the look that a lot of people think it is. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that people associate with femininity is actually a masculine expression of something. Um, and a lot of times men associate femininity with being light skinned. I know it sounds harsh, but it is. They associate femininity with light skin, long hair. I would say skinny as well for some of them. That's how it's perceived. And so if you see a dark skinned woman who's tall and she has her natural hair and things of that nature, they wouldn't blink twice calling her masculine, even though a lot of those women are some of the most feminine women you may have ever met. And I say this because I was actually talking with a brother, and I'm doing him a favor by calling him a brother. I remember him saying, like, how come all these, like, he was surprised at the fact that whenever he would meet those women, and he was talking about Nigerian women in specific, and he was saying they would be so tall and they'll have like a certain physique that he didn't expect. And those will be some of the most feminine women he ever met. And I don't know if he really caught himself, and before he said that they are some of the most like examples of femininity, I believe he said they were manly looking. He said the most manly looking women are feminine. And that's because, like I just said, their perception is based on what a woman looks like. So, because white men have made this standard to make their woman the standard of beauty, which they worked hard to do because that favors them in every sense of the word. Um, Other men of the world, most especially black men, because of their position in society, they view anything close in proximity to whiteness as um, better. So when it comes to those type of women, um, when you're in close proximity as a woman to whiteness in any shape or form, they view you as the epitome of femininity, which it is absolutely backwards. Um, and so getting back to the feminine coaches, you hear a lot of this rhetoric about how on the first date you don't go on coffee dates, you don't do this, you don't do that, and it's always superficial, which is the exact opposite of femininity. Femininity is very deep, it is in depth, it is intuitive, it's expansive. And although I am a fan of, setting a standard for yourself and not going below that. I am a fan of, yes, a man needs to put in the amount of effort, a quality amount of effort if he's going to court and to date you, because a lot of men will do the bare minimum so that they can go through a lot of women. So I'm not speaking against that, but I see these women coming from such a strong part of superficiality, and it's actually very much masculine, and most of the women that call themselves feminine coaches are very masculine in their approach. Their sole goal is to find provider men to provide for them and create this life, and is really a lot of times leading young women especially towards men who are going to be inherently narcissistic and abusive. Whether people want to acknowledge that or not, that is the truth. Now, I do not believe that you should settle for less, and I don't believe in struggle love, because that is also leaning towards men that are inherently narcissistic. But we aren't being told how to rest in our femininity naturally, so that basically you were placed here for a reason, and that energy is so powerful that you'll start to see things come together. um I want to say not only organically but almost mysteriously. You're going to be provided for when you rest in your femininity, you're in your creative energy. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you're going to see means being met for you. You're going to see doors being opened for you. And this goes along with knowing the power that Yahweh placed into the universe. And I don't put all power unto the universe, and I don't believe in the halfway, what is it called, law of attraction, because all of those things, a lot of those things are skimpy, and they're not fully explained, and they lead down the wrong road as well. But there was power put into the universe, so whereas though what you will reap what you sow. So if you're resting in your feminine energy as a feminine vessel, you're going to see even the masculine energy respond to you in a different way naturally. Um, I say all this to say your femininity is going to be expressed how it is unique to you. So when you start putting on the superficial cloak of what some type of person told you femininity is, it loses its power. It becomes performative, and you're going to attract performative masculinity. You're going to attract someone who's overcompensating for the masculinity that they lack, and they're just going based upon what society says masculinity is. And that's how abusive situations get created, and turmoil get started. So you have these women and men on both sides who are looking to manipulate one another. And these situations, in the long run, we're going to see them break down, and we're going to see them break down in a way that is very explosive. So I'm not going to speak too much longer. Like I said, I'm going to have to break this down in several episodes, but I want to speak onto just the fact that there is power in being feminine, and there is a power in honoring yourself as a feminine vessel, and you will be provided for through mysterious means. The more you rest in your feminine energy, the more you start to align what is natural to you. And so things like money start to come natural to you. Things like a place, a car, all of those things, you're going to see it happen so effortlessly for you, because of you resting in the power that you were given. Okay, so it also has to do with your sincerity in heart and spirit, though. It's not something that you can hijack. It's not something that you can it's not something that you can pretty much manipulate in that sense. As a feminine vessel, you have an inherent power to magnetize things to you that are aligned with your path, that is aligned with your purpose. So not every woman be, I know it's hard to believe, but not every woman wants purses. Not every woman wants the same things. Not every woman has a value for the same things. However, what is unique to her, what will make her life easier, what will be the correct provision and protection for her, unique to her purpose, can come into her life when she rests in her femininity and she grows in it. It's going to be more unique. It's going to make you stand out from other women. Right now, you have so many women who they're all going to be the same caricature of femininity, and that's going to be something that is easily picked up on. So you're all going to be like, it's going to be like a crayon box with a bunch of red crayons. There's going to be no uniqueness, and it causes a sense of boredom. So there will be no longevity in the relationships that they hold, and there's going to be this breakdown or unsatisfaction from both parties. And a lot of people think they can deal with this, but I know that unless you're a narcissistic woman, is not going to be something that you're going to be easily adept to. And also, when children come into play, your femininity also has to deal with how you relate to your children, how they will feel around you. And you cannot fake the vibes with children, they pick up on it and they're going to be impacted by it. So, when it comes to building a family unit and you go as far as mothering and things of that nature, these things needs to be discussed because your femininity also impacts your nurturing nature. Your femininity shows how your children are going to relate to you, and that mothering, that nurturing, that nourishment is a great part of development. We see a lot of homes now and we think they're just broken down because they were single parent homes. No, they lacked femininity as much as they lacked masculinity in their household. So the children picked up on dysfunctional energies from their schools, their surrounding, their peers, and things of that nature. Most children were robbed of both parents. And this goes even into two parent homes where both parents weren't present. And when they were present, there was so much pressure on them that there wasn't even enough time to relate or nurture and nourish and develop, help develop and add to any type of potent qualities of their children. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. I know that was like, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. This was really just like a dump of where I want to take this, but we're going to speak a lot more on performative femininity and how it's causing dysfunction in women. It is going to cause dysfunction in our communities in long term because that fraudulent energy is going to shut down your true feminine nature, and we're gonna see a lot of robotic people, robotic masculine energies and robotic feminine energies because people aren't really developing themselves anymore. They want the shortcut to manipulate the other party that they're going to deal with. They want the shortcut to manipulate their viewers. They want the shortcut, whatever shortcut that they can take. That's what everybody's looking for. And they want the easy way out. They want to go out and play these tricks and have men relate to them in a certain way, and they are meeting up with men who want to play these certain tricks to have women relate to them in a certain way. So we have a tug of war that has taken us out of our authentic energy, when in reality we have all this information to try to learn and sharpen and become better in our authenticity, not to take away from it. So thanks for tuning in to Don't Misquote Me, the podcast. We will definitely get into this more next time, and until then, see you soon.